A few weeks ago, I moved here, piled all of my tools and supplies into this tiny, dumpy garage, and started to build a boat. As you can probably imagine, none of my stuff has been easy to find or convenient to use. So before all the chaos starts tempting me to take shortcuts and ruin this entire project, I'm going to overhaul this space. By the end of this video, what is now a completely useless, cluttered little garage will be a functional, organized, and lovely, at least as far as that's possible with what I'm starting out with, boat building workshop. At least that's the goal anyway. So far, here's what we're working with. One manual door with a little row of windows, uninsulated walls with plenty of holes, cement floors that are not even pretending to be level, and piles and piles of stuff with absolutely no rhyme or reason to where anything is. I do have these rafters or beams, whatever these are, could possibly be used to store some bigger stuff. And one row of cabinets on the back wall, though they are sitting at quite a concerning angle. First things first, before I can add anything cool, I gotta organize all this crap I already got. Okay, so here's what we got. Hand tools, power tools, accessories for the power tools, hardware, electrical stuff, tomato basil bisque, that's nothing, solar stuff, other hardware but like leftover random stuff from the bus like these drawer pulls, and assorted liquids and goos. Laugh all you want, I stand by it, I think that's a valid way to categorize that. And this pile of storage devices that all of this came out of. Alright, now we can get to the fun part. I went to the Habitat for Humanity store yesterday looking for some cabinets, and it turns out that the filing cabinets, oh my gosh, it's windy, were much cheaper than the normal cabinets, and they were all a consistent height. So I just got those, and we're gonna make something work here. Okay, so this is roughly where I want these. I just want a long workspace along this whole wall. However, like I mentioned, the floor isn't level. It's also like very rough in some places, so I think what I need to do is build a sort of frame to sit underneath these that I can adjust and get level, and then place them all on top of it. So, off to get some lumber, I suppose. Every day I get a little bit more deconverted from Home Depot, you guys. I just went to like a building liquidation store and I got 10 8-foot 2x4s, a sheet of insulation, and a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood for $60. And they walked me around and showed me exactly everything I needed and then loaded it all into my truck for me. I don't know. Home Depot better watch their back, I guess. I know that I should probably be putting these up the tall way, but I'm worried about making the entire bench too tall, and also I have an idea of building it the flat way that it just seems like it would be easier to make adjustments to get the whole thing level. Which probably isn't true, but I'm going for it. Oh no! Guess I'm doing this right then. Okay, so now that I've made two longer 2x4s, I'm just gonna slap these cabinets on them and then see how much I need to adjust things to keep them level. Okay. Okay, I already changed my mind. I'm gonna put the 2x4s up on their sides like they should have been. It's actually pretty close. Okay, it's roughly level. I'm gonna wait to fine tune it until I actually put the countertops on, because it's probably easier to fine tune that than to try to move the whole structure anyway. So I just need to cut that plywood in half then. I'm gonna take a little break from the mess out there and talk about today's sponsor, Dreo. Just within the last few days, it started to get cold here. I'm talking about the kind of cold that sort of seeps in through your pores and chills your very bones and feels somehow spooky in a way that makes you want to cry. You guys experience that too, right? I will be spending the next few icy months working away in that garage out there, and due to some of the features that I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to be able to maintain control of the temperature, so I'll be relying on Dreo and the Solaris Slim H3 space heater to get through the winter and make some progress on this boat build while hopefully also not getting frostbite. Hopefully. What sets Dreo apart from your run-of-the-mill space heater is that their engineers have really focused on the heat path, optimizing the fan speed and the direction so that the heat that this produces will actually spread throughout the area and you don't have to just huddle up right next to it like you do with many other space heaters. When I first got this, I did not realize that, and I had it set up right next to me, but I very quickly realized that I could have it across the room and it would still keep me warm. I'm very optimistic that this heater will at least create like a little bubble of warmth and refuge that I can turn to while I work. It also, of course, has tip-over protection and overheat protection. It has eco mode plus 3 different heating modes to fit the level of power that you need in your specific setting. I will probably always have it on the highest setting out there. You can tell it to oscillate or stand still, and you know I gotta mention it. It's got a very snazzy look about it with the black and the silver and the little touchscreen controls. Oops. It's quiet too. It's not on right now, but I bet if it was, you guys couldn't even hear it. Let's test it. Okay, you can maybe hear it, but you can hear that it's quiet. So despite the building that barely passes for a building that I'm going to be working from, I'm hoping that this little guy is going to prevent at least one mental breakdown this winter. Probably several. If you're in need of your own little warmth machine, check out the links in the description. Dreo's Christmas campaign is happening now, and you can get a great deal on a heater of your own. Now back to the garage. Not too bad for a couple hours and 80 bucks. Okay, I still need to finish leveling this, add a support right there where the pieces meet, and actually secure it all, but I'm gonna move on to the organization because it's a bit hard to work in here like this. I have these 8 filing cabinet drawers, which are pretty big. I also still have all of my boxes and containers that I had this stuff organized in before, and I also am planning to store some stuff on the walls themselves, so I should have plenty of room. Definitely way more room than I've ever had in any workshop situation I've ever been in before, by far. Just a matter of organizing well at this point. I think I'm gonna start out pretty basic, kind of just organize things into general categories, keep stuff out that I use all the time, and organize that in a little bit more of a detailed manner, but mostly just try to keep it simple for now. And I figure I can discover what I need and make modifications to my system as I go, if I figure out it's not working. Okay. Where to begin? a lot better in here. I've got most everything put away, and I still have, I think, 2 drawers left, and I didn't use any of my old storage stuff, so we're looking good. Now that this space is pretty under control, I want to get some of those like pegboard things, organize all this stuff. I just left everything out that I use constantly, and then also some random stuff that I didn't find a place for. And I want to organize this wall. So I'm thinking it's time for a little Harbor Freight shopping spree. I have secured the pegboard items. It's 3 in the afternoon. It's just starting to get a little bit chilly, and it's gonna start getting dark soon. So I think actually before I put this up, I'm going to switch gears for a minute. I went ham at the Harbor Freight Black Friday sale a couple weeks ago. Bought 4 of these lights, and then I tested them out inside, and they are so bright. I think I probably only need 1, like 2 if I want to have it really bright in here. I think I'm gonna quickly hang these. I did get an extension cord that will reach all the way back here, so I don't have to just use my power stations now. So let's see, where should we hang these? Oh, do you know what? You guys definitely can't tell, but it's not nearly as dark in here as I expected it to be. Still too dark, but I thought it was gonna be like too dark to see anything. Let's see here. Oh yeah. That'll do. I think I'll just hang 1 more right here and then call it good. I've never actually been in here with the door shut before. It's suddenly so cozy. I'm so excited. Well, I can't complain about that. Bright as daylight in here. Should probably cover that giant hole. Ooh, that is nice. I may have just spent an entire day working and spending money on stuff that is not technically added to the progress and the boat build at all, but having some light and a little bit of heat in here is probably about to double the number of hours I have in my working days. So this is actually a pretty big deal for the boat. Million little times.
Just where it was needed, gleaming black as night.
Welcome to my new workshop. Let's have a little tour, shall we? First and foremost, over here we have my new work surface. This is 16 feet long. The whole boat is going to be 17 feet long. That was one of the primary goals of this little build, was to have a nice level surface that I could assemble my big pieces on. That's actually going to be the next project, I think, is putting together the framing for the long side pieces. Underneath I have a bunch of drawers with all of my tools and supplies. The drawers are going to need to be further organized still. A lot of the stuff that I don't use as often is just kind of tossed in place, but I plan to do that as I go, as I'm figuring out what's going to work for me best. I have a drawer for all of my assorted hand tools, another one for my power tools, divided between the ones that I don't really ever use that often and the ones that I use pretty regularly. I have a drawer for all of my adhesives and wood filler, that type of stuff, one for all the screws and nails and stuff that I've collected, one for painting stuff, and then the last one is kind of a hodgepodge. It's got all of my plumbing, electrical, solar, and then all the random extra handles and drawer pulls and stuff I had left over from the bus build. The idea behind that one is that I'm probably not going to be needing any of that stuff anytime soon, so it's kind of shoved in a corner for now. I'm sure many of you will be overjoyed to know that when I went to the Harbor Freight Black Friday sale, I got myself plenty of safety equipment, so it's now all actually organized and easily accessible, so I don't have an excuse of, oh, I just need to hurry and cut this piece of wood and I don't know where my glasses are. They're right here. I even got like a whole backstock of glasses in case I lose all of these. I also have some of my most frequently used stuff just hung up here. I still want to do a little bit of online shopping and see if they make any sort of like little baskets that go in here, because there are a few things that don't really make sense to hang, but I would like to have right here ready to grab at any moment. On this half is where I have some of my plywood and supplies, also apparently my level. I would like to fine tune this a little bit more because it would be nice to have two separate stacks for my two different thicknesses of plywood, and right now it's just all together. But again, I'll figure that out as I go. Last but not least, now that I have a long enough extension cord, I have lights and a little bit of heating, so I should be able to work for more than 6 hours during these very short winter days. Surprisingly, I was actually able to finish all of this yesterday. Usually when I try to do projects in a certain number of days, if I even accomplish it at all, it's like with an asterisk that I still need to do a few little tiny last things the next day. But no, I actually managed this one this time, and it might not look like much, but comparing this space now to how it was 24 hours ago, it's gone from just sort of a covered area where I could stow a bunch of to an actual functional space that I'm kind of excited to work in. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to my next work day right now. See you then.
Nobody's